I want everyone to listen to this because I'm going to assume you haven't heard this on the news yet. All right? 3 young white men, teens or early 20s, were attempted to be apprehended for loitering suspiciously only a few blocks from where Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden Massachusetts property was. When police approached them, they fled, leading police on a chase that ended at his mansion of residence. They expertly scaled a security wall, and as they did, they attempted to dispose of an illegally obtained man-killer 7.62 AK-47 fully automatic weapon. However, they were unable to evade detection for long on the residence, and they surrendered without much resistance. They were arrested and charged with resisting, armed trespassing, and burglary. At this time, there is no prosecution for having the illegal weapon, specifically, nor any mention of what their intentions, aside from robbery, may have been, but what's sure is that Biden is quite possibly lucky to even be alive. Were these militant thieves sent by a dissenter? The conservatives and many other alt-right groups have been responsible for the many death threats that the presidential hopeful Biden has been receiving since he was nominated a few months ago. This is just the latest attempt on his life by multiple individuals. There have been many attempts that have been thwarted by the police, Secret Service, or personal security. So why is no one talking about this? Why is the mainstream media not talking about this? This should be talked about every day until Election Day. This is incredible that this happened and that nobody's talking about it. Do you want to know why nobody's talking about it? Because it didn't happen to fucking Biden. It happened to Trump yesterday. 3 teens armed with AK-47 jump fence at Trump's Mar-a-Lago, whatever the fuck, property. The youths promptly scaled the fence, leaving the AK-47 on the wall, where it was later found by employees. The trespassers were unable to evade detection for long within the property and were apprehended without putting up much resistance. Police have charged the interlopers with resisting, armed trespassing, armed burglary. It's unknown if weapon charges related to the AK will be pursued. One of the teens reportedly told police the trio had found the weapon. The group also claimed they had no idea that they trespassed on property belonging to Trump. Damn, I forgot that one. Police spokesperson said the trespassers were lucky that the president wasn't there. President Trump has been the target of innumerable death threats since his inauguration in 2017, and police and Secret Service have thwarted the efforts of multiple individuals to enter his property or campaign rallies armed with deadly weapons and deadly intent. So, we going to talk about this every fucking day? Probably not.